There is no end to the circle, no end. There is no end to life, there is no end. There is no end to the circle, no end. There is no end to life, there is no end. We are a circle within a circle with no beginning and never ending. We are a circle within a circle with no beginning and never ending. There is no end to the circle, no end. There is no end to life, there is no end. There is no end to the circle, no end. There is no end to life, there is no end.
Power of the winds, come to me. Come to me on the wings of dawn. Power of the winds, come to me. Power of the flame, come to me. Come to me, bring sparks of change. Power of the flame, come to me.
Power of the ocean, come to me. Come to me, swim through my dreams. Power of the ocean, come to me. Power of the darkness, come to me. Come to me, O earth and flesh. Power of the darkness, come to me.
Power of the spiral, come to me. Come to weave me in your web. Power of the spiral, come to me. Power of the grandmothers, come to me. Power of the spirits, come to me. Come to me from your watchtowers. Power of the guardians, come to me.
I welcome you to this celebration of a life well lived of Diana Riggs. We come here within these sacred walls to celebrate, to hear beautiful music and wonderful words as a way to express our memory of a wonderful woman. It's interesting that in Genesis, in the 4th chapter, there's this little small verse. I bet you not even the ordained ministers will even know this verse. Lakhmit married 2 wives, Ada and Zillah. Ada gave birth to Jabal, the ancestor of all who live in tents and herd cattle. And his brother's name was Jubal, the ancestor of all who played the lyre and the flute. And so we had amongst us a daughter of Jubal. For many, many years, she has graced many sacred walls to bring beautiful music to the church and enriched many people's faith journeys. And so we're here to celebrate a daughter of Jubal. If you will, listen more to readings from the Psalter, the book of songs found in the Hebrew canon, Psalm 121. I will lift up my eyes to the hills. From where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, who made the heavens and the earth. God will not allow your foot to be moved. God will keep you and will not slumber. Behold, God who keeps Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. The The Lord is your keeper. The Lord is your shade at your right hand. The sun shall not strike you by day, nor the moon at night. The Lord shall preserve you from all evil. He shall preserve your soul. The Lord shall preserve your going out and your coming in from this time forth and even forevermore. If you're able, rise in spirit and in body as we sing 561, When in Our Music God is Glorified.
The dining room table. For Ted, who was there too, March of 2002. She sat at the dining room table with her husband, her twin brother and his wife, a couple of aunts and uncles, and her mother. They had just buried their father. Now they sat around the dining room table in the house that he had built, opening sympathy cards. Dollar bills fell out of the cards, mostly ones, a few fives, and an occasional check. This was the custom in their small town in the center of Iowa. The money would go to the church, which he had also built for a memorial. 33 years later, she sat alone at the dining room table, far from that little town in Iowa where she grew up. It was the same dining room table, and again, it was covered with sympathy cards, this time for her mother. The money had been removed and left in their hometown, once more for a memorial at the church their father had built. Her parents had brought the dining room table as newlyweds in March of 1934. It came from Yonkers in Des Moines and had a matching buffet and 6 chairs. She had had the dining room table for many years now, first in her home in Ohio. After her father died, her mother had moved to an apartment and no longer had room for the table. So the table had come to her. She was writing thank you notes to friends and family. They had sent flowers and memorials following the death of her mother at age 97.
The dining room table held so many dear memories. There was the time when she and her twin brother were small and used to play under the table. One day, Mother gave each of them their very own pair of blunt-end scissors. They immediately crawled under the table to inspect this wondrous gift that they were now to own. "Don't cut the rug," their mother said from the kitchen. Why, the thought never entered their little minds until now. Snip, snip, snip. Christmas Eve was always a special occasion. It was the one the family ate in the dining room alone, just the four of them by candlelight, as early dusk set in. It was a light supper before they went to church for Christmas Eve service. Mother always prepared special food, cold cuts and cheese, special bread, the candle salad, which was half a banana stuck in a round of pineapple with mayonnaise dripping down the side and a marshmallow on the top. And, of course, her homemade nut bread for dessert. There were family dinners on holidays when aunts and uncles came, and their three cousins. The good china and silver was carefully brought out from the dining room buffet where it was lovingly kept. On New Year's Day, the snow was so high that only one aunt and uncle could walk to their house from a block away, climbing over the snowbanks along the main street.
Addendum 2021. On February 5th, 2008, in Little Rock, Arkansas, at the house on the northwest corner of 17th Street, straight line winds blew the mighty oak tree on top of and through the house. The most damage was in the center of the house next to the dining table. The table, which sustained minor damage, was moved to the great room in the new house at 808 Washita Circle in Little Rock. It no longer had a room of its own. In December 2015, the table was moved again, this time to Uplands Village in Pleasant Hill, Tennessee. Once again, it was displaced by the grand piano. But it is happy to be used for every meal in the morning room overlooking the Greenwood. She sits pensively at the dining room table that has traveled so far and had so many stories to tell. Who would sit in this chair when it was time to open her sympathy cards?
Anne Ganley could not be here today, but it was she who introduced me to Diana. And with the silent guidance from Diana, it was Anne who generously paid for this, Diana's Luna harp, to come to me. Diana's 15 years of classical music learning and excellence are embedded in these strings and this walnut. Her call to teach and share music are present even as we remember her playing this beautiful instrument in this space. I am honored and humbled by the opportunity to play today. In the February concert, I played the Harfenspieler, which I will play now, on a harp that didn't have all these low, wonderful strings. And that experience prompted me to write a poem, some words that I've adapted to share today before I play. Depth of Harp. To Diana, whose wisdom comes from your insight, vision, music, and courage sprinkled across the world, a music legacy of 75 years strong with depth of harp, heart, and soul. You sat in the front row, and the tension erased from your face. I felt joy in full force beaming in my direction. Technical restraints gave way, and we played with love, my harp and me. You said, showy harp music, classical. I had not yet done that kind of music on the harp in public. And in those moments, as I began the Harfenspieler with a vision of a harp player bending deeply into the strings, I let go of all the technical restraints and played from my heart, like you said. Years of classical music and professional performance, therapeutic heart connections finally settled into this sacred harp, the sacred harp for me, for the very first time. Your challenging, supportive presence poured straight into us lives forever. Thank you, Diana.
This piece that I'm about to read was very special to Diana. She memorized it and would recite it to herself as a meditation to begin her day. It is called The Charge of the Goddess. My law is love unto all beings. Mine is the secret that opens up the door of youth. And mine is the cup of wine of life that is the cauldron of Caradwen, that is the holy grail of immortality. I give the knowledge of the Spirit eternal, and beyond death I give peace and freedom and reunion with those that have gone before. Nor do I demand aught of sacrifice, for behold, I am the mother of all things, and my love is poured upon the earth.
What does one say about Diana? How do I describe this amazing musician, creative spirit, and dearest friend? How do I put it all into a few words? As of early this morning, I still did not know. And then I remembered the quote from Diana that is in your bulletin. I don't play words, I play notes. Of course, she was and is music. So simple. I can hear Diana's distinctive laugh and see the glimmer in her eyes as I come to this obvious conclusion. I remember a conversation I had with Diana a few months before she passed away. I was telling her how grateful I was to her for bringing music back into my life. I had stopped playing the violin 2 years before moving here because of arthritis in my hands. Upon learning that there was a musician at Uplands who was choosing not to play, gasp, Diana made it her mission to set it right. It took about 6 months, but in the end, she prevailed. So as I told her that day how thankful I was, she gave me a sly look and said, I got it right, didn't I? Quintessential Diana. I am merely the last in a long, long line of many. Wherever she lived and worked, Diana searched out those who had musical training and made playing music together not only a pleasure and a priority, but a gift that was to be shared with the people of the church. She created groups for musicians of a wide variety of backgrounds, coaching them weekly, often writing and adapting music for them. The Tenutos and the Chimers were two of Diana's creative gifts to this church. Her dedicated leadership of the concert series was another. Music seeps into the soul of who we are. It changes and enlivens us. Thank you, Diana, for the many ways your music graces our lives, even today.
I was a friend of Diana's for 33 years. One of our connections was both being musicians, and we actually knew each other quite a long time before we played together. We kept saying, we should play together, we should play together. And about 15 years later, we finally played together because she retired from her weekday job, not her church job, and we had a little bit more time. So we played piano duets, we played piano and organ duets, we played recorder, we played drums, we sang, and we had a great time. I thought we were doing it for fun. You will not be surprised to learn that she told me we were going to do a recital at the church where she was currently working. And so in the summer of 2014, we did a recital. We had a wonderful time. We continued meeting to have fun, and then she told me we were doing it again at my church in the spring. And so we did that. I go to the Unitarian Universalist Church, and so we were able to reach quite a number of our friends with this fabulous, fun time that we had together. She was a musical force of nature, and I know you all know that. I'm wearing what she wore during her Celtic series. Many of people are wearing things that she gave us. So, Diana was one of my chosen family. She was a sister. She was wise, she was witty, and she was compassionate. It will also not surprise you to know that the service today was chosen by Diana. I have a list in my notebook. We've been talking about it for years. We fine-tuned it when I was here in May. She told me what she wanted read, what hymn she wanted to sing, what chants she wanted to sing, which musicians she wanted to include. Another thing you should know, the flowers today from Tom McGowan. He's a longtime family friend of Ron and Diana's. He was a yoga student of Ron's. He was one of Diana's first piano students in adult piano students in Little Rock. And so he gave the flowers today, saying, "In loving remembrance from a piano student." When she told me that she was moving here, she said, "You know our friend Tom McGowan," who I actually did know. And I said, "Yes." She said, "You know, I've been teaching him for a while." And I said, "Yes." She said, "I told him you're taking over." I said, "Okay." Was he okay with that? So Tom we did piano lessons for a while before he got busy again, but it was actually wonderful. So as we were planning in May, she said, "One of the things that I want read is this poem. I'm not sure if you can read it, but if you can, I want you to." So fortunately, it's short. Grief never ends. Grief never ends, but it changes. It's a passage, not a place to stay. Grief is not a sign of weakness nor a lack of faith. It is the price of love. This is another song that has been important for Diana for a long time, so I will do my best. We'll see. Hold me, never let me go. Hold me like the leaves on the ends of the branches. And when I die, let me fly through the air like the leaves when they're falling. Hold me, never let me go. Hold me like the stars in the sky high above me. And when I die, let me fly through the sky like the stars when they're falling. Hold me, never let me go. Hold me like the leaves on the ends of the branches. And when I die, let me fly through the air like the leaves when they're falling. Thank you.
I hope I'll be able to get through this. Yes, it's been very emotional, but as all of you are learning, she was quite unique. And I've been very lucky to find her. And I have the opportunity to share some of the things from her twin brother. And he wrote these and sent them to me and said, please read those because I'm unable to make it there. His physical body cannot allow him to do the traveling. And so Ted says, it is with the deepest of regret that I'm unable to be present at this memorial service to celebrate the life of my twin sister, Diana Caroline Schnormeyer Riggs. And I can't tell you how long it took me to learn to spell Schnormeyer. Somebody from Appalachia can't deal with Germans. Obviously, we were very close to one another from the moment of conception. Our parents were married on March the 14th, 1934. Our father was 44 years of age at that time, and our mother was 30. We were born in Marshalltown, Iowa, at the Deaconess Hospital, and the very same hospital where our mother took up nursing training and graduated in 1926, and was employed there until our marriage to our father. She was born in Germany. And so I'm always proud now to say to people who are narrow-minded that my mother-in-law was an immigrant. At the time of the births, I was born first, and then about an hour later, the doctor said, I believe there is still another one in there. And my sister was born. It was a big surprise, as there was little technology at that time to determine any such outcome. We grew up in a loving home of accomplished parents in the small farming community of Hubbard, Iowa, made up of mostly German farmers that had immigrated in the last quarter of the 1800s. Yes, it was the 1935 and in the middle of the Depression, but we had little memory of problems that our parents faced. Because it was an agricultural environment, there weren't many jobs lost, as most everyone was self-employed and was producing food. There were some memories of the Great War, and we shared the experience of some of that adjustments and events that were still with us to this day. Growing up in a small town in Iowa in the 50s was somewhat idyllic and ordinary, but not all in a bad way. It was an innocent time for sure. I recall when Sister Diana, at age 5, started taking piano lessons and had to walk to a nearby neighborhood's house where the instructor came from a neighboring town. It was surely the beginning of a musical life in which she excelled and participated in many fashions from the time forward to nearly the last days among us. Upon graduating from high school, we both went on to obtain a college education and served in the military as well. Diana then proceeded to obtain advanced degree work in religious music. She was uncertain as to what she was going to do or where she was going to go, so I invited her to live with my family, wife Anne, and children David and Kimberly in Cuyahoga Falls. Practice that one, Cuyahoga Falls. It was there that she met Ron Riggs, the love of her life. It's nice to hear. They lived in various places, including the Falls, Wheeling, West Virginia, and we continued to stay in close touch and visited each other often for Thanksgiving and Christmas. It was always a special time we spent the holidays together, and to this day it is strong in our memories. She contributed a great deal of pleasure to many, many people over decades long of a career to which she was deeply dedicated. She will be missed by many and remembered long after her departure. The date of this memorial service, August the 17th, would have been the 60th wedding anniversary for Diana and Ron, and the 65th for myself and Anne, my wife, who departed on Thanksgiving Eve in 2017, several months after our 60th wedding anniversary. And so I say, goodbye, my wonderful sister. I love you. Your brother Ted.
Claude Debussy, Ceilings. I just want to say, again, Diana planned it. We're so happy to have Lyle celebrating with us. This is also his birthday.
She planned it, you said it. Diana was a formidable presence in the world and here in Pleasant Hill. She was an extraordinary musician. She was a ferocious feminist. And from the beginning of her earthly life to the end, she was a beloved child of God. and a gift of God to us. This service, which you heard several times, she created, embodied all of that. And these friends who she had and the friends that she made anew when she moved here have expressed her wishes. She asked me to read this beautiful Gaelic blessing printed in our bulletin. I'm going to ask you to join me in reading it aloud so that it becomes not only Diana's blessing upon us, but our blessing upon Diana. So, together, deep peace of the running wave to you, deep peace of the flowing air to you, deep peace of the quiet earth to you, deep peace of the shining stars to you, deep peace of the gentle night to you, moon and stars pour their healing light on you, deep peace of the light of the world to you, deep peace to you. May it be so.
When we are gone, they will remain. Wind and rock, fire and rain, they will remain. When we return, the wind will blow and the fire will burn. When we are gone, they will remain. Wind and rock, fire and rain, they will remain. When we return, the wind will blow and the fire will burn. By the air that is her breath, by the fire of her bright spirit, by the water of her womb, by the earth that is her body. Our circle is open but unbroken. May the joy, love, and peace of the goddess be ever in our hearts. Merry meet and merry part and merry meet again.
At this time, we will welcome you. You are able to go out to the garden for the interment of the ashes. The good thing is we'll be mic'd out there, and if you're wanting to stay in this comfort space, you'll hear what we're doing out in the garden. and dedication that she brought to this life. Been honor her life. We come from the mother into this physical form, playing for the time in her creation, returning back to the mother of our original and with you now. Diana's ashes are returned to the earth, which is our mother. We are made of the earth and we return to her loving arms. We remain alive in the wind and the bird's song, which is part of her as we all join together as we say the Lord's Prayer. Our Mother, Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our sins as we forgive those who sin against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever and ever. Amen. May we together add our blessing to this sacred ground as we give Diana back to the earth and bless her on her way as she transitions to her new life. We celebrate her incredible and joyful life here with us and celebrate her transition beyond what we cannot see. May her spirit continue to light the way with beautiful music. Amen. If you will, allow Ron and friends to get to the Boyce Hall, but you're welcome to a wonderful reception in Boyce Hall and gather him there.
Are you going to keep that?
Inside.
I'm going to say you can keep it.
Never play that. She is a classical organist. She plays real